Now to those troubling new signs for the economy, stoking more recession fears. The gross domestic product, the GDP, that's the benchmark for U.S. goods and services, it fell nearly 1% from April to June, the last quarter. That makes it the second quarter in a row of negative growth. That is traditionally the unofficial sign of a recession. Well, the Biden administration this morning is pushing back, saying no, there's strong consumer spending, which grew again in the last quarter, and historically low unemployment. But Americans across the country, recession or not, they are feeling the pinch of rising prices. So what does it all mean? Joining us now, Melissa Lee, host of CNBC's Fast Money. Melissa, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, it's always been the unofficial definition of a recession, 2 quarters of consecutive negative growth. We have that. The Biden administration is saying
later.
Well, the United States recorded its second consecutive negative GDP report today, something that traditionally means we're in a recession. Wall Street shrugged off those recession fears today as the Dow added 332 points. And at the White House, President Biden dismissed the negative growth, saying it doesn't sound like the U.S. is in a recession. Here's Deborah Alfarone.
President Biden pushed back against talks of a recession on Thursday, pointing to parts of the economy that remain strong.
There's going to be a lot of chatter today on Wall Street and among pundits about whether we are in a recession. But if you look at our job market, consumer spending, business investment, we see signs of economic progress.
The remarks come after the Commerce Department reported the country's GDP fell for a second straight
15 minutes later.
The United States is in a recession. A lot of numbers go into that determination, but one of the big numbers shows that the economy shrunk yet again between April and June.
Now, Suzanne Bruner is with us this morning. Suzanne, there's one group that's saying yes. What do you know? They're the ones that are in the White House. And the other group is saying not quite. So millions of Americans, they just want lower prices.
Exactly. And that's the thing, Kara. Either way, Americans are feeling the pain with the rising prices we've been experiencing and, of course, soaring inflation. So the report that we were talking about yesterday that came out showed the economy shrank for the second consecutive quarter. Data from the Commerce Department found that happened between April to June. Now, Republicans calling this evidence of a Biden recession, but the president pointed to record low employment and business investment, saying it doesn't sound like a recession to me. Now, there is a definition of a recession, and a small committee of economists
Eventually.
New numbers today show that the gross domestic product, that measures the nation's total economic output, it shrank by just under 1%. That's down for the second quarter in a row, and that is one definition of a recession. President Biden addressing those numbers a short while ago, along with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. For more, let's bring in ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous, ABC News White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks, and Aditya Bave, senior U.S. and global economist for Bank of America. Well, welcome to all. Alexis, let me just begin with you. That new data, the economy slowed down for the second straight quarter. What should people make of that?
Well, I think the technical recession, the technical definition of a recession is here. That is 2 back-to-back quarters of a shrinking economy. That is certainly what we got. The economy shrank by 1.6% in Q1, quarter 2, down by 0.9%. But yet we continue to see parts of the economy holding up nicely. Consumer spending still quite strong as consumers still dig into those savings that they were able to stockpile during the pandemic. And we also have a very strong job market, something Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and President Biden spoke about today. So, you know, in terms of the classic recession where you have a slowing economy and a slow job market, that is definitely not the case right now. But as we've been talking about all day, maybe it doesn't matter whether or not we're in a formal recession. What matters is how people feel about it. How do Americans feel about it? And many of them are struggling right now and would probably say, yes, we are in a recession.
Exactly. And Aditya, if I could ask you as an economist, a lot of mixed signals in the economy right now. And then the political parties in the run-up to the midterm fighting about it. The Republicans want to call it a recession and blame it on Biden. Biden and his team don't want to call it a recession. As an economist, what do you see in this economy?
Right. So the National Bureau of Economic Research makes a determination as to whether we're in a recession or not.